Okay, this video is going to be my servo project that I posted before. I did the stepper motor CNC small stepper motor router table that rapid traversed, I think, around 80 inches a minute, and I cut some aluminum out with it and so forth, and it worked pretty well. So this one we're going to do Tico servo drives, and we're using the Mock Motion guys ultimate screen there, which is pretty cool. I like what they did with that. And then we're using the Tico servo drive controllers. The lighting's kind of poor out in the shop right now, and it's a cloudy, cold day, so I'm working indoors on this. But you can see we have the X, Y, and Z Tico servo drives up at the top. And down at the bottom, the blue relays are running from the main computer, which incidentally, this one I think is actually Windows 7. Now you can run this on Windows 10 too. I've done it. You guys have seen me use even a small Windows 10 laptop to run the small CNC router table that I previously built. This is actually an old ESOB plasma table we used to use, and we're converting it to a router table because we now have the owners bought a Hypertherm 240 amp plasma table, and it's really nice, and it has the ProNest software and all that stuff. So this one was crammed back in that corner over there. I dug it out and cleaned all the slaggy stuff out of the table, and what I did is I went in here and I just put some angle irons in and welded the angle irons down, and they're not level at all. So then on the side of that, I pre-drilled some holes down here through the side of the angle, and then I got some 2x4s and screwed those on and left them a little high. And in the previous video that I put up, we took the router and we just ran horizontal back and forth and leveled all the boards all the way across the table so that they're the same height. So the next thing we're going to do is put on some spoiler board on top of the level plywood, or the level 2x4s that were on the table. I'm going to cut that down and mount that on top of there. And we're just going to use this strictly for pretty much wood, plastic, maybe some thin aluminums. So we do want the table to be level, and we want things to be fairly true on it. But I think it's going to work out pretty well. It was a messy job cleaning it up, but it has some pretty good, some flat linear rails and ball bearing slides that are pretty decent, that really didn't get a whole lot of use since we installed them on this table. So hopefully, being a router table, this will be a lot nicer. I will say the Tico servo drives are very accurate, and you can wrap it up to about 390, even faster. You can tune the amperage up on the servo drives in the parameter settings. However, 300-400 inches a minute rapid travel on this machine is probably as good as we're going to do. But we're using some pretty large teeth gear rack. I don't know if you can see that. The lighting's kind of bad, but we've got some pretty big gear rack on it. The Z-axis that I have the router mounted to is originally bought for actually arc height control using the Mock software. It had a couple limit switches on it and a spring-loaded mechanism, so when it engaged and hit the top of the metal, it would back off and fire off the arc, and then arc height control would take over and run it from there on the Z-axis. But now we just need the router, so forth on there. And we do have planetary gears mounted on here. These are 25-to-1 planetary gears, so they give us a lot of great torque. And with servos, you have the RPMs. You can justify 25-to-1 gear ratio. And because of the weight of the gantry, I felt that was proper for keeping up with the weight of the gantry and compensating for inertia and being able to smoothly accelerate and decelerate with the servos. And anyway, stay tuned. It's working pretty well. Look forward to actually cutting something out. Some signage. We're going to do some signs and maybe some cabinets and different things on here. This is a 6x12, was a 6x12 ESOB shadow plasma table. Now it's going to be a 6x12 Mach Motion router table. Stay tuned.